why I replaced this Worcester Bosch boiler. My name's Alan Hart, and in today's video I'm going to show you why we chose to replace this Worcester Bosch boiler. I'm going to go through the faults on it. I'm going to show you the install from start to finish. I'm going to show you the install, show you what we took out, what faults was on the boiler, show you the boiler we replaced it with. I've also got a special guest today, special guest. I'll show you that shortly. And then what I'm going to do, we'll come back into here and I'll fully strip this boiler down and we'll have a look at the faults on it. If you could also, if you didn't mind, put some comments below. Let me know what you would have done. Would you have repaired the boiler or would you replace the boiler? Bearing in mind this boiler is now 15 years old. So yeah, let's go and have a look. This is a Worcester Bosch Green Star Combi boiler. And originally we came to do a boiler service on this, and then we found a few faults on it. And if we have a look underneath here, we can see the electrics. It looks like somebody has drilled through the electrics in the past because all the wires go up there, and then they've just joined them all together with joint boxes. So this is something for customer to sort out later maybe, but it just means the pipe work, it's very difficult to do good pipe work on it. And one of the faults we have is when we went to pump the expansion vessel up, we found that the expansion vessel was leaking. So it was leaking water. So I have done, the previous video that I've just done was how to change the expansion vessel. So if you want to know how to change an expansion vessel, I've done that on that video. But as you can see there, clearly the expansion vessel is faulty on this, so that would need to be replaced. Before I start doing much work on these Worcester boilers, I always check the burner seal first, just to see what the readings are from it. So that's 1,500 parts per million. So what that reading indicates to us is that this burner seal here has gone, and it's very, very important if you come do a service on one of these boilers to check that seal. Almost every one of these I go to now needs the seal changing, so please check that every time you go do a service. So yeah, let's go and have a look at the rest of it. Always remember, if you're going to work on a boiler, you must be gas safe registered or competent to do so. I'm just draining the boiler down now and just remove the elbow off the flue. Just undone all the nuts on the boiler, lifted the boiler off, and then I'm just going to take this jig off the wall now. Just some screws in there. And this is a really tricky one. If we have a look down there, you can see all the electrical wires going up the back of the boiler. We're installing a Viessmann 050 Combi boiler on this job, and it's a 35 kilowatt Combi boiler, and it comes with a 10-year parts and labour warranty. Thank you to the deal that they've got with Trade Help at the moment. I've got a special guest with us today for one day only. Phil's come back to see us, or is it Danny? Is it Danny or Phil?
No, it's definitely Phil.
It's definitely Phil, yeah.
Danny's a gas engineer now.
Yeah, so we're just fitting this Viessmann boiler in here. So how's things going then, Phil?
Really good. I've started my new apprenticeship now with Leeds City Council. I've just come on, like Alan said, on the day off to just come and spend some time learning from the master.
It's good to have you back. It's good to have your energy. It's just brilliant, really good. So we're just fitting a Viessmann today. So we've installed a Viessmann 050 on this with a 10-year warranty, as I've said. We've flushed the system. We've also checked the system with the AD Pro Check. So we've put chemicals in, we've put inhibitor in, we've put Fernox F1, and then we've tested it, and we've got like a report for that as well. I do a water test on all my jobs now. So I test the water in front of the customer, and it's also dated and it's timed so that you know that it's correct. And what you do with the AD app, you take a picture and it also sends that to the customer in an email So the customer's got proof that when you installed the boiler, it was all installed correctly. And there's no, like any manufacturers getting out of warranties or anything like that. We've got a smart meter on this, so it's really easy to gas rate it. So we've got it at 36 kilowatts. So we've got proof there that when we installed it, we're working at 36 kilowatts on high. I have done a full video on the AD Pro check, so check that out. It demonstrates how to use it. And I can tell you for a fact, I've not been paid from them in any way at all. They did send me the AD Pro check kit out for free to start with. I would be quite happy to buy it going forward. I think it's amazing. The customer's reaction when you take a water sample in front of them from the system, so they can see that you're not trying to fiddle it. You take pictures, you dip it, and you show it all in front of them, and then they get the results, and they've got that proof then going forward. So there's no boiler manufacturers getting out of warranties later on, because you can prove that when you installed it, it was installed correctly. And then also each year you can also do that test again. Fernox also do a test now. I haven't used that one yet. I will buy that at some point, and I will do a video on that as well. So yeah, so on that particular job we've fitted a 35 kilowatt Viessmann Vitterdens 050 Combi Boiler, and it comes with a 10-year parts and labour warranty. So now what I want to do, I'm going to strip this boiler down. So I've got 2 screws in top here, and I've got 2 screws at an angle at the bottom. And as always, if you're going to take a case off a boiler, you must be gas safe registered or competent to do so, and you do need specialist test equipment that's in calibration so that you can test the boiler internally and also externally as well afterwards. So we'll just remove the case. And then we'll have a look inside here. I'm going to take the fan out, I'm going to strip this down. I'm going to have a look at this burner seal, which I do suspect will be damaged. So we'll do that now. So to remove this fan, we disconnect the gas pipe here. Got a little pin there, a little clip that just pulls out. And that gas pipe will just lift up. It's just got an O-ring on there. It's just a piece of, it's a plastic elbow that goes into top of gas valve. I'll show you that shortly. We've also got connection here on the fan, and this has just got some clips on the back of there, so you just need to push some clips in so that you can pull it out of there. And it's also got an earth terminal there. We've also got a nut up here, and then it's got a little clip that holds this in place. This nut here is 13mm. So what I do, I normally take this, depends on the model, but take the nut off, and then you need to take that clip out, which is a little bit faffy sometimes. But you need to take that clip out. You need to take that clip out because that clip holds that fan arm or whatever, I don't know what that part's called, but it holds that part of it in place. And then what you can do, normally I try and take this off, so I gently take this front wire off on the electrodes. You need to be really careful with these because they split sometimes, and this one has, it's, so we'd need some new leads on this. You can just see that it's just snapped off on top there, the covering. So we'd have to get a new set of leads if we would have repaired this boiler. And then once I've done that, what I do is I just pull this forward, try and keep this hold down a bit if you can. Sometimes I'll put that nut back in there, but not the clip, just to hold it down. And then you just want to get that out of there. And that's the fan assembly. I'll strip that down in a minute and I'll show you that as well. We just need to take the rest of these leads off on here. And again, these are seized on these. combination really of the heat. This seal should have been changed long before now. These have just welded on, so I've managed to get them off now, but they are brittle, so these are definitely need changing. Just lift them out of the way. And then if you have put that nut back on there, then obviously take that nut back off and then just lift this off. This just lifts up. And just lifts up out of the way. And then if we have a look at the seal, we can clearly see before we even start that the seal's in bad condition, and that's why it will leak in the carbon monoxide out of it. So that's the seal. See there, you can totally see through it. It's totally split. What I'll do now is I'll take the burners out, I'll take the baffles out in here and see if we might have some fun trying to do that, to be honest. Clearly you can see that this needed changing. I think Worcester advise every 5 years, but I would advise that first of all you check the installation instructions and then see if there's any technical bulletins at the time. My advice would be to check this on every service, every time, because as I say, nearly every one of these now that I go to needs to be changed. So when you do a service on these, you can get a kit. I got this from Plum Centre many years ago, but you can get a kit, and this is to take the baffles out and then also a brush to clean the heat exchanger. With this tool, sometimes the baffles can get stuck in, and it's got little slots in it, so you can get your screwdriver in, put it onto the top of the heat exchanger there, or heat cell, heat engine, whatever they want to call it these days, and you can use the top of there to prise it up. Also, there's a little screw at top here and a little access panel that you can take off so that you can get in with this tool. I'll zoom in and I'll show you that now. So we've just got a little panel on top here, and there's a little screw there somewhere. Just take that screw out of there and then the panel just lifts off, and that gives you access then. So first of all, you've got the burner in this, and that should just lift out. Just lift that burner out. This burner's actually got water in it for some reason. Don't know why. Yeah. And then we've got our baffles then inside here. So the first one is the big side. So we just put that in. So I don't know if you can see that, but this tool has just grabbed hold of the baffle, and then all we need to do then is just pull that up, and it'll pull the baffle out. Nice and easy. That's actually the easy one. And you can normally get that out with your hand. You might not need to use this tool, but if they're caked in, then sometimes you will. But then what you need to do is turn it over to this side. And this is the tricky one, or this is the one that can sometimes be a bit dodgy to get out. I've heard of people using different products, pouring them in and loosening it up a little bit, and then try and pull it out that way. So we'll just put this one in now. What you do is get that hook underneath that baffle. It says like that. And then once you've done that, you just pull the baffle out. And that's the baffle. And that's come out fairly easy, to be honest. what I'll do now is I'll show you inside the heat exchanger. And that's the inside of the heat exchanger. So one thing to point out with these, they don't always come out as easy as that. In fact, this is probably the easiest I've ever had to remove. So how that goes, that's the bottom baffle. That goes on top of it. And then that goes on top like that. And how that works is, you've got your flame coming out of the burner here, and instead of it going straight through the heat exchanger quickly, these slow it down so that it allows the heat to go onto the water side, and then obviously give you heating and hot water. So that's how that part of it works. What I'll do now, we'll have a quick look at this here, this flue bit here. So on the video on how to replace an expansion vessel, I spoke about this part of the flue here, and what we're saying is if you can twist that there, it's just got a little clip there, and then this flue will just lift down, and it's just got a piece there where it can just slide down into like that. So you can get that right out of the way if you need to take flue elbow off. Would you have repaired the boiler, or would you have replaced the boiler? Please put a comment below and let me know which one you would have done. From the customer's point of view, they wanted better hot water anyway, so it was a no-brainer. They might as well spend the money into having a new boiler with a 10-year parts and labour warranty rather than spend the money into an old boiler. But this particular boiler, we'd have needed to put a new expansion vessel on. Obviously the expansion vessel were leaking on this. New electrodes, new burner seal, full service, new leads, and just a full stripped down service really. What I'll do now is we'll take the heat engine out. I'll show you that. Show you how to take that out. So obviously we would have drained the boiler down. Take this clip off here. And then just wiggle that off there. The way I would do it to make it easy, disconnect this cap off here, and then disconnect that there off the top of the pump, and then try and wiggle this pipe out of here, out of bottom. That sticks in under there into the heat exchanger. You need to get that out of the heat exchanger, and then you can lift the heat exchanger up then. That pipe has like a little clip under there as well, so you just turn that and then you can pull this down. This is the trickiest bit, I'd say. And then take this plastic bit out here, there's just a clip on bottom. Obviously you take all your leads off on this. And then this will just lift up then, he says. And that's the heat exchanger out. And the only thing that holds that in, you've got a clip there, and that holds onto the back there, and then you've got that returning piece there at bottom that goes on there, that screw on bit. This bit. That's what actually holds heat exchanger or heat engine in place. So So that was just a little bit extra for you on the end. They're not that hard to take out, to be honest. I mean, this has been a working boiler as well, so it's not like I've done out to make it easier. As I say, that bottom pipe were a bit tricky to get out, so that's why I try and wiggle it. The Worcester Bosch guy told me before that you can leave that pipe in and you can try and prise it up, but I've tried that and I can't really manage to do that. So as I say, I just wiggle that pipe, pull that, lift it out, and as I say, it's easy enough to do. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the comments below, and as I say, please put a comment below and let me know whether you would have replaced the boiler or whether you would have repaired it. As I say, it could have been repaired. It might have lasted another 10 years maybe. But yeah, put some comments below. Thanks for watching.